Collectible junk.
So you've purchased some solar panels and you want to take the power from these and send it into your portable power stations. What do? Let's check it out. Now before we get started, let's just touch on a few things about solar panels. Remember that voltage is something that's pushed. So when you're looking at your panels and you're looking at the open circuit voltage, or VOC, you want to remember that this number is pushed by the panels. A high voltage panel can be connected to a lower voltage device as long as the voltage input is not exceeded. So paying attention to your portable power stations, how much voltage your MPPT controller can accept. So like in the case of the F3800OG, for example, somewhere between 11 and 60 volts is what you're allowed to send into the machine. Now on the amperage side, amps are actually pulled. So your charge controllers act as the load pulling only the current they need. That means you can safely use panels with higher amperage ratings than the controller. Knowing the difference between the voltage and the amperage and not overvolting what you're sending into your portable power station is key. The other thing that you have to decide with your portable power panels, or any solar panels for that matter, is do you want to do them in series or do you want to do them in parallel? Because that's also going to affect your voltage and your amperage. Series increases the voltage, but the amps remain the same. If you have, two 25 volt panels and you series them together, say they're 10 amps, it's going to go up to 50 volts. And when you live in a colder climate in the north, like where I am, you want to be mindful of what the maximum voltage is on your MPPT controller. Because the colder it is, that voltage is going to come up. And you do not want to exceed that maximum on the controller. You wire your panels in parallel, then parallel increases the amperage, but the voltage remains constant. So in that previous example, you have two 25 volt panels and they're both 10 amps each. The amp's going to double. So it's going to go up to 20, but the voltage is going to remain constant. So just remember that the difference between parallel and series. And that once you have that down, then you can decide how you want to work with your panels, whether they're portable panels like these, Anker SOLIX panels, or if you've got your own panels that you want to use. Meter is very handy to have on the end of your MC4s that are coming into the portable power station. Saves you from having to get a meter out every time to check the voltage and the amperage coming in. You can hook one of these up and plug it into the side of your station and you can see how it's going in. Now, for the Anker SOLIX F3800OG, I have this, and I also have another one for the F3800 Plus, but on that one, I needed to use an MC4 conversion connectors. So I could go from MC4 to XT60 and then XT60 to MC4 again. What I'm going to do instead is, for that particular one, I'm going to actually swap it out with a meter that is MC4 on both ends. And then I'll just take the other meter I have like this, and I'm going to use that on my C2000 Gen 2. Kind of wanted to touch base on these meters. I get a lot of questions about it in my videos. So I figured, hey, let me share some of this information. So this particular one, I'll put a link for this down in the description of the video. This video is not sponsored, so this is just for providing information based on questions. But this particular meter here came with some XT90 connectors as well. So supposedly this can do XT60 and XT90. And then of course this one is MC4 style. This will be used on my F3800 Plus. What I'm going to do is, before I get started, because I want to run this test and I want to hook up my two Anker SOLIX PS100 portable panels, I first want to see what's coming in to the F3800 Plus. And then what I want to do is take the meter that's on the F3800 Plus, that looks like this, I want to pull that out, and I want to put in this meter instead, so I'm going right from MC4 into the machine. Remember, the F3800 Plus doesn't have the XT60, it has the higher voltage proprietary cable that goes from that cable connector to MC4 on the other end. So I figured, let's try it out and see. And I hope that the meters read the same or that they're comparable. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna set up, and I'll be back. So there's the conversion cable I was using. Now we're going to put this inline one in with just the MC4s. So this is what's coming from outside, and this is what's going to the F3800 Plus. I want to show you something before I even plug this into the F3800 Plus. Just situate the wires. I'm going to flip the breaker on without it connected to the F3800 Plus here, just to show you can see some stuff coming in. It won't give you the full throughput, but let's see what it shows. The volts coming in, 27.21. That's plugged in. Let's turn the breaker on. Let's see what's coming through here. Now the sun's coming in and out there quite a bit. It's a partly cloudy day today, but 21 volts coming in, 74 watts, 3.52 amps. So let's see how that compares to what we had previously with the other meter. So as you can see, this is just a really high level look at how you can use your solar panels, how you might be able to incorporate some meters, and how you're going to get that voltage in to send it to your F3800s. And before I close this video out, I want to touch on polarity and charging. I mentioned in the video here that the point of adding a meter gives you the ability to not have to worry about getting a meter out every time you want to test. But first running wire, I'm using 10-AUG wire, bring it in to use with my solar panels to get a meter out. And I would test for polarity. You do not want to reverse the positive and negative going into the MPPT controller. What we're seeing from some people, and in my own experience as well, when you're sending in the voltage, it looks like the voltage is coming into the MPPT, and your meter will reflect that, or any device that you have will reflect that. But what those little meters won't show you, that your regular digital meter will, is whether or not it's positive or negative. So there were some people that were experiencing some issues where they were bringing the power in. They were showing that they had voltage, but they weren't getting any type of wattage received by the unit. Now, two things. First, if your F3800 and F3800 Plus are both at 100%, you're not going to get anything in anyway, because it's not in any need of any charge at that point. But once you're down below 100%, if you're still seeing, say it's sunny out, you've got your panels placed, you've messed with the panel placement, you know that there should be something coming in, and you're not seeing any voltage, check for polarity. Make sure that it's not a negative voltage, because if it's a negative voltage, there's a chance that your F3800 will show nothing. In my experience, if you've got the voltage coming in, it'll look like it's working as normal, but you won't see any wattage being received by the F3800 Plus itself. So you do not want to reverse the polarity, because A, you're not going to get wattage in, but B, you could damage your MPPT controller long term. So just remember that polarity is key. Test it out. I'll include some screenshots here with what I'm talking about. I've identified the plus and the negative side of both the XT60 connector, but also the proprietary cable for the F3800 Plus that goes from MC4 into that higher voltage input into the MPPT of the F3800 Plus, which also has a plus and a negative side that's very small on the connector, and I can show you that here. Once you've identified those two things, then you can set up your meter after you've done your run. You can put your positive into positive, negative into negative, use your digital meter as you normally would, and then you'll actually see whether or not you're getting a positive or a negative value. I want you guys aware of this polarity thing as you're wiring your panels into your system. And again, this video is a very high-level, simplistic understanding of panels, series, parallel, meters, and polarity. I hope the video was informative, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Take care. Thanks again for watching.